My name is Jeff Steiner. I'm the executive director of the Dad's Resource Center, which is based in State College, Pennsylvania, and provides education resources and advocacy for single fathers struggling to be in the lives of their children. We've had countless fathers come to us as victims of the court, county, and human service systems meant to protect the best interests of children that are needlessly and pervasively cutting fathers out of the lives of their children. Of the many tragic and heartbreaking situations that have come to our attention, this is the most disturbing and grave. That is why we are doing this video, to provide Malsuanto Davis and Don Lacoste a voice and a platform to share their story. Up until early 2020, Mel's son had lived in South Carolina, where his mother and Malsuanto lived. Malsuanto had been an active part of his son's life until Mom abruptly took him and went to Pennsylvania, where Mel's son ended up in the custody of York County Children and Youth Services. Since that time, no one has heard from or knows where Mom is. Malsuanto was unaware of where his son was until Don, who had been told by one of her relatives, reached out to tell him. Hello, Malsuanto and Don.
Hello, Jeff.
How you doing, Jeff?
How long after you found out your son was in the custody of York County Children and Youth was it until you were able to see him?
Around the summer of 2020.
Now, what was your experience with the first caseworker involved in this situation?
Oh, she was really good. I mean, she kept me informed what was going on with the court and everything, and she kept in contact with me.
Good. All right. Now, there was a transition there, and she left. What was your experience with York County Children and Youth Services after you no longer were working with this caseworker?
Nothing. I was supposed to get reassigned a caseworker, and nobody reached out, told me anything, or nothing.
Okay. All right. Now, Don, what had been your experience with York County Children and Youth Services?
Well, when I first heard my grandson was in foster care, I reached out, and from the very beginning, it was quite difficult. It was difficult to get any kind of answers whatsoever. I had to get a lawyer just to try to get some answers and try to get anything done. I had to fight to get visitations, which wasn't consistent. And, even though there was a schedule, it was just really difficult, and couldn't understand why it was so difficult. And I thought it would be better when I hired a lawyer, but no, it didn't get any better.
All right. Thank you, Don. Now, Malsuanto, for a period of time, you were able to have bi-weekly Zoom visits with your son, correct?
Correct.
All right. And when did these visits end?
I want to say, like, after the caseworker had left, and everything just stopped. I mean, the foster parents wasn't keeping contact, let me know what happened. I mean, it just so, I mean, that's like the beginning of 2021.
And did anyone ever explain to you why those visits had ended?
They didn't tell me, but I heard from, Ms. Dawn, like, because of, after getting off the phone with me, I heard that he was like not listening to the foster parents and stuff like that, but I don't know how true that was. We don't.
All right. But no one from York County really just told you why that occurred? No,
sir.
All right. When was the next time you were actually able to see him again?
When they had a court hearing that I came to of December. It was December, and they had him on the screen, and I could see him, but he couldn't see me. They didn't want him to know that I was in town and at the court, and that's the last time I saw him.
So it was from roughly January of 2021 to December of 2021. You hadn't seen him or talked to him during that time, and then you went to the permanency hearing, and they didn't even let you acknowledge to him or for him to know that you were at that hearing.
Exactly. Yes, correct.
All right. Is there anything that you picked up during the discussion at that hearing in December of 2021 about how Malsuanto or how your son was doing that struck you as being different from back when he was with you in South Carolina?
Oh, they say he's more focused and doing better in school. That's, kind of find out he's on medication. They put him on medication, and he's talking to a therapist that he never did when he was in South Carolina. He didn't have to be on medication.
What they had been telling you when they were talking to you, that he was doing better in school and all of that, but when they were actually being in court having to talk about it, you found out that he was on medication and had to have counseling.
Yes, sir.
Right.
He didn't seem like himself. I mean, like he was zoned out, because he's active. I mean, he likes to move around. He likes to talk. He just standing like a statue, just a zombie. And that's not him.
All right. Now, prior to all of this, what was your work situation down in South Carolina?
Oh, I had a restaurant job as a cook for 18 and a half years. That's how I was able to be stable in my house, have a place to live and take care of business.
All right. And now what is your work situation?
Well, I'm in Pennsylvania now, and I have a better job than what I had in South Carolina. I love it, to tell you the truth. I have a full-time job. I'm stable, I love it. I just love it.
And part of your considerations for getting that job was to be able to have a regular, steady schedule when you'd be available on the weekends in the evenings, correct?
Correct. Yes. It was all for my son, so I can spend time with him like I used to. I mean, he just hurts, man. It hurts.
Right. So, and to be clear, even though they're proceeding towards termination, you came up here to Pennsylvania, you got your full-time job, you have a place, and you're in proximity of York County to be able to start working on having custody and take care of your son.
Yes, sir.
Right.
I did. Everything for him. Everything's for him.
All right. Now, both Malsuanto and Don, at any time during the course of the last 2 years, has anyone involved in this process ever relayed any concern of abuse, neglect, or harm to Mel's son by either of you?
Never.
No, never.
Right. And Malsuanto, given the opportunity at the very beginning, would you have had your son returned to you in South Carolina to take custody and care of him?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I mean, we got a park next to the house. I mean, not far from the house. All the schools from elementary to middle to high school is all in walking distance, or they could get dropped off. I mean, it's everything is right there. The doctor's office, everything is close by. I don't have to, it's there. Everything is there. Everything. Family and all. Everybody's there. Everything and everybody.
And you have lots of support down there that can help out with taking care of him and watching him and things like that.
Definitely, yes.
Right. Don, at any point were you given the opportunity to have custody of your grandson?
Yes, but for some strange, unexplainable reason, I was denied. I don't understand why, but I was denied.
And given the circumstances right now, what do you think is in the best interests of your grandson?
I think it's in his best interest for him to be returned to his family, to his father. And I really think that this cycle needs to be broken. My dad did not grow up with a very good life in the foster care system. He did not function and operate very well in the foster care system. He had a lot of anger. He was angry with his parents for leaving him in the foster care system. There was a lot of dynamic that happened with his mentality that he had to overcome by being in the foster care system, being left there. So I don't think it's in the best interest of my grandson that he be left or put in a foster care system or be adoption or anything. He needs to be returned to his family who loves him.
That knows him.
Who knows him. I climbed every mountain. I drove from Las Vegas to Pennsylvania for my grandson to set up living everything so that these things can happen. I mean, I would just climb I would do anything to get my grandson back. He shouldn't have never been there in the first place.
Exactly.
Not this long. And if these people at DCFS had any kind of respect, any kind of, if they would have just worked with the father just a little bit, I don't think any of this would have even been happening at all.
Never gave me a chance. They never.
I don't believe they ever gave the father, Malsuanto, a chance. I mean, I don't believe they did. They just did just a miscarriage of justice in every way that I can think of.
I understand that the system is for them, like the mothers of the children. They don't think about the dads that actually care and want to be there. It's like neglect towards the dads. That's not right.
What do you think would be the lifelong impact for your son if he were to spend the rest of his childhood as a 9-year-old, the rest of his childhood without you, Don, and the rest of your family being part of his life?
It would be lost. He always gonna wonder, about his family, his background, everything. That we the only ones that can teach him and tell him things that the question that he has, we have the answers. And he's never gonna know that if he's not with us. I mean, he gonna have that question mark, and it's not gonna be filled if he's not with his family.
We're his family, and I just don't believe that these people at this agency ever gave us the opportunity to be reunited with our beloved grandson and son. They just never gave the father the opportunity. Never did. They just said that he wasn't good enough and just closed it out. And that's not good enough for me. And it's not good enough for the father because Malsuanto loves his son.
All right. And most assuredly, with you beating down the door and asking, stop, they should course correct. There's no doubt about that. So, all right. I know this is very difficult. Thank you two for joining me here on this video. If after hearing what Malsuanto and Don have just said, you share our grave concern about this situation, we ask that you take the calls to action that will follow the completion of this video. On behalf of Malsuanto and Don, we want to thank you for taking the time to watch this video and anything you can do to help avoid this tragic situation from unfolding. Thank you.